Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is on April 13th, 2024. It's on Saturday and sunny. How do you like Saturday? How are you spending Saturday? Have you got the day off today? Or are you obliged to work? Are you forced to work? Are you compelled to work today? But instead of working today, do you have a day off in the middle of the week? What are you going to do today? How are you going to spend Saturday doing? According to the information I got from my friend, the sports meeting might be postponed due to the inclement weather. According to the information I got from the news, the interpreter appeared in the court. I'm looking forward to the coming kickboxing match between the two fighters. I'm looking forward to watching the coming baseball game between Team A and Team B. I'm looking forward to watching the coming high school baseball tournament in summer. This coming general election is rumored to be draw the biggest attraction, and the most turnout is expected. The person advertising himself through the SNS is said to be the strategy to draw more attention from the voters in the preparation for the next coming election, coming Friday, coming Thursday, coming Wednesday, coming Tuesday, coming Monday, coming Saturday, coming Sunday. It will be sunny this coming Sunday. It seems rainy this coming Sunday. It seems rainy this coming Monday. It seems rainy coming Sunday, but the weather forecast is subject to change even on the next day. So we cannot know. A week away from now. The weather forecast often changes day by day. Coming match, coming baseball game, coming soccer game, coming opportunity. I'll try the local traditional food on my coming opportunity. I'll try the local traditional food on my coming visit here. This coming Wednesday seems to be national holiday, and we want to have a class according to my classmates. According to my classmates, we want to have a class this coming Wednesday because it falls on the national holiday. It falls on national holiday. We have to live according to Constitution. We have to live according to Constitution. Every law must be created according to the Constitution. Every law must be created according to the Constitution. Every law must be made according to Constitution, because everything is under Constitution. Assemble the furniture according to the instructions. Never deviate from the instructions, okay? Assemble the furniture according to the instructions. I just did according to the advice from my teacher, and that's it. Many garbages arrive at the shore according to the ocean current. Many garbages were flown to the shore coastline according to the ocean current. Much garbage were flown to the shoreline according to the ocean current. Much garbage was flown to the beach according to the ocean current. I go my own way according to my passion. Enthusiasm. I go my own way according to my passion, enthusiasm, instinct. Give your answer according to your instinct. Was the answer given from your instinct? Or to match others? Was the answer given according to your instinct? Was the answer given according to your passion, enthusiasm, and instinct? I did homework. I did do homework according to my teacher. I managed to arrive at the hotel according to the car navigation. If I had followed all the car navigation, I would have fallen into the ocean. If I had followed all the car navigation, I would have bumped into the guardrail, and there is no pathway outside of the guardrail. I would have fallen into the valley. If I had followed the old car navigation, if I had drove my car according to the old car navigation, I would have fallen into the valley. If I had dropped my car according to the old car navigation, I would have bumped into the guardrail. I'd have crashed into the guardrail. We are just working on the tasks according to the order from our boss. The dog left there without touching the food at all according to the order from the owner. The pet dog stayed there still without eating the food in front of him according to the order. The accused commented nothing according to the advice from his lawyer, attorney, to defend himself, so that any comments won't lead the court battle to being against him. The defendant mentioned nothing according to the advice from his attorney. The defendant so far hasn't commented at all according to the advice from his attorney. Many garbages were flown to the shoreline according to the ocean current. I like to be floating on the ocean at the beach according to the ocean current without using any power, just floating on the ocean looking up at the sky in summer. The policy was handed down according to the message from the person. The policy was taken down. The policy was handed down according to the message from the person. The sports meeting was called off according to the order from the host. The sports meeting was postponed until coming Saturday, according to the order from the principal. The convention was put off till the coming Friday, according to the host of the meeting. The sports meeting was put off till coming Saturday, according to the order from the host. The sports meeting was put off till coming Friday, according to the order from the principal. The sports meeting was called off according to the order by the principal. Are you going to vote at the coming election? Are you going to vote at the coming election? Coming general election? Are you going to run for the mayor at the coming election? Are you going to run for the election? Are you going to run for the mayor at the coming election? The sports meeting was called off according to the order from the principal due to the inclement weather, owing to inclement weather, on account of inclement weather, for inclement weather. The sports meeting was postponed till coming Saturday, till coming Saturday, till coming Saturday, till coming Saturday, till coming Saturday. The sports meeting was put off till coming Friday, till coming Friday, coming Friday, coming Friday, coming Friday, coming Saturday, coming Saturday, coming Sunday, coming Sunday, coming Sunday, coming Sunday. Every law must be created according to Constitution. Every law must be created according to Constitution. Assemble the furniture according to the instruction. Assemble the furniture according to the instructions. Given the distance from my house to the destination, maybe I will fly there. Of course, if possible, I'd like to take a bus in order to save money, but it's too tired. Yeah, tiring. Taking a bus to the destination is tiring. On my way to the destination, I took a night bus. On my way home, I flew back. I took a bus to the destination and flew back home. I took a bus to the destination and flew back home. I'm going to fly back to the destination. I'm going to fly back to my hotel. I'm going to I'm going to fly back to Osaka from Tokyo. I'm going back to Osaka. I'm going to fly back to Osaka. I'm going to fly back to Tokyo by way of Beijing. I'm going to fly back to Tokyo. I'm going to fly back to Tokyo. I'm going to fly back to Tokyo. I went to London by way of Beijing. I went to Australia by way of Malaysia. You can open the door by means of turning your key to right at 90 degrees. You can open the door by turning your key to left at 90 degrees. You can enter your account by means of fingerprint recognition or entering password. You can log into your account by means of either face recognition or entering your password. You can log into your account by means of fingerprint recognition, entering password, or sending secret number to your phone number as SMS. I usually try to become average by means of doing a lot of effort as much again as others. I usually become average by means of doing a lot of doing effort twice or 3 times as much as others. I usually can become average by means of doing effort 2 or 3-fold as much as others. I usually can become average by means of doing effort 3 or 4 times as much as others. I usually can become average in everything by means of doing effort 2 or 3-fold as much as others. Unfortunately, my growth was in line with that of my friends. To my surprise, the sum total of my shopping was in line with my birthday. Her account was hacked because her password was in line with her birthday. Her account was hacked for her password was in line with her birthday. Easy to guess. Unfortunately, my day off was in line with working day of my friends. Unfortunately, my day off was in line with a working day of my friends. Unfortunately, my working day was in line with the concert day. Unfortunately, my working day was in line with the concert day. His behavior is not in line with what he promised. His behavior is not in line with what he promised as a manifest at the election. His behavior is not in line with what he promised as a manifest at the election. His remarks are not in line with what he mentioned a week ago. His comments are not in line with what he commented a week ago, contradicted. The contents said by him are not in line with what he commented a week ago. His remarks are not in line with what he commented a week ago. His remarks are not in line with what he commented a week ago. His remarks are not in line with what he commented a week ago. Totally contradicted. The fingerprints left on the table were in line with the criminals. The fingerprints left on the table were in line with the criminals. The bicycle taken by the person was not in line with his ownership. The portrait put on the passport was not in line with his. The personal picture put in the passport was not in line with his face. His profile, written in the resume, turned out to be not in line with his real background. The profile, written in the resume, was not in line with his background. The profile written in the resume was not in line with his true background profile. My hobbies or tastes are never in line with others. My hobbies and tastes are never in line with those of others. My tastes are never in line with those of others. My tastes are never in line with others. To my surprise, my flight was in line with that of famous soccer players. To my surprise, astonishment, stunning. My flight was in line with that of the soccer player. To my surprise, my flight was in line with that of famous soccer player. Naturally shaped cliff was in line with the shape of heart. Naturally eroded cliffs on the shoreline was in line with the shape of heart. The naturally eroded cliff on the shoreline was in line with the shape of Godzilla. Naturally eroded cliff on the shoreline was in line with the shape of elephant. Naturally eroded cliff on the shoreline is in line with the shape of elephant. The fingerprints left on the table were in line with the criminals. The fingerprints left on the tables were in line with the defendant. What he is mentioning now is not in line with what he commented a week ago. We learned to tell about vice from virtue in the course of the education at schools. We learned to tell about vice and virtue in the process of our education at schools. We learned to tell vice from virtue in the course of education at schools. We learn many lessons in the course of our lives. We go through many difficulties in the process of our lives. We are supposed to be faced with a lot of difficulties, hardships, predicaments, ordeals in the process of our lives. Some songs remind me of my childhood. The song reminds me of my childhood. The perfume fragrance reminds me of my foreign trip. Perfume fragrance reminds me of my foreign trip. Perfume fragrance in the shopping mall reminded me of my foreign trip. Perfume fragrance reminded me of my foreign trip. Fragrance, perfume fragrance. Perfume fragrance reminded me of my foreign trip. I'm not accustomed to expressing myself in public. I'm not accustomed to expressing my ideas in public. Who are accustomed to expressing their own ideas in public without nervousness, anxiety at all. I'm envious of those who can express their feelings without anxiety and nervousness in public. I'm really envious of those who can express their own ideas in public without anxiety and so on. I'm really envious of those who can express their own ideas in public without feeling nervousness. And feeling nervous, I'm envious of those who can express their own ideas in public without feeling anxiety and so on. Uneasy. Express your idea articulately. Express your opinion articulately, clearly, eloquently. The speaker expressed his own ideas eloquently at the podium. Accustom yourself to taking trains. It took me about 1 year to accustom myself to taking trains in the urban city. I am envious of those good at expressing their opinions in public, clearly, articulately, without hesitation. Are you accustomed to getting up early? Are you accustomed to getting up early? How can I accustom myself to performing in public without feeling nervous? I'm so bad at expressing my own ideas at the job interview. I'm so bad at expressing myself in public, in front of people, and so on. I am so bad at expressing myself in public. I am so bad at expressing myself in front of people. I am so bad at expressing myself in front of people. I am so bad at expressing my own ideas clearly, concisely. I am so bad at expressing my own ideas concisely. But I'm good at expressing my ideas confusingly enough to make everybody confused. My long-term goal is to achieve a Grammy Award. My long-term goal is to get the Grammy Award. My long-term goal is to get the Grammy Award and to be admitted by many people in the world. My long-term goal is to get the Grammy Award. My long-term goal is reach the level as fluently as native speakers. My long-term goal in my English study is to approach the native speaker level. My long-term goal is to reach the native speaker level. Long-term goal, long-term goal, long-term goal, long-term goal, long-term goal, long-term goal. Long-term goal, 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 long-term goal. What is a long-term goal? In a bit to achieve my in order to fulfill my long-term goal, I establish a short-term goal first, and in the process of achieving pieces of small targets, finally I can achieve my long-term goals. In an attempt to meet long-term goal, I set up some small targets, small goals. In the course of meeting small targets, I finally can meet long-term goals. In a bit to meet a long-term goal, I set up a short-term goal. And in the course of meeting short-term goals, I finally can meet long-term goal, I think. In order to, so as to, with a view to meeting long-term goals, I set up short-term goals to be met first. And in the course of meeting short-term goals, I finally can meet long-term goals, finally, in the end, at long last, ultimately, long-term goal. Stacking up a daily effort is of great importance. Piling up small effort on a daily basis is of very significance. He is a man of generosity. He is a man of generosity. He is a man of arrogance. He is a man of kindness. Sorry, I was beside myself. Setting a short-term goal is of importance, with a view to achieving a long-term goal finally. Setting a short-term goal, short-term goal. Setting short-term goal, short-term goal. Setting a short-term goal, short-term goal. Setting short-term goal is of importance, is of significance. In the bid to meet a long-term goal. Setting a short-term goal is of significance, so as to meet a long-term goal. Of great importance, of great significance. He is a man of kindness. He is a man of kindness. He is a man of arrogance. He is a man of arrogance. He is a man of arrogance. Taking the route is of danger. Taking the route is of danger. Taking the route is of danger, needless to say. Much less taking it at night, let alone taking it at night. Still less taking it at night. She is of beauty. She is of very beauty. She is of beauty. She is of beauty. He is of craziness. He is of craziness. Performing in public is of nervousness. Performing in public is of nervousness. Finding the one you can be into forever, perpetually, for good, everlastingly, is of great importance, of great significance. trying to keep finding the one, true one, you can be really into perpetually, forever, for good, everlastingly, is of significance, of significance, of significance, of significance, of significance, of significance, of significance. Finding the one you can be passionate about, you can be enthusiastic about, you can be enthusiastic about, you can be passionate about, forever, for good, perpetually, everlastingly, eternally, is of importance, of significance, of significance, of very significance, of significance, of significance, of significance. Finding the one, true one, you can be enthusiastic about forever is of significance, of significance. The stock price of the company doubled over the 10 years. The stock price of the company has doubled over the past 10 years. The stock price of the company doubled over the past 5 years. The stock price of the company has doubled in the past 10 years. The stock price of the company has quadrupled over the 10 years, over the past 10 years. The stock price of the company has doubled in the 3 years, in the past 3 years. The stock price of the company has doubled in the past 3 years. The stock price of the company has doubled in the past 2 years. Remarkable moment of the trip. Remarkable moment of the trip was him proposing to her successfully in front of the gate. The technologies are developing at a remarkable pace. Technologies have been advancing at a remarkable pace. At a remarkable pace. At a remarkable pace. At a remarkable pace. Technologies have been advancing at a remarkable pace. The population of the company has been decreasing at an alarming rate. At an alarming rate. The population of the country has been decreasing at an alarming rate. At an alarming pace. At an alarming pace. At an alarming pace. The kid showed his talent at playing the piano at the age of 5. The kid is showing his talent at playing the piano at a remarkable pace. My height grew up at a remarkable pace when I was in my teens. My height grew up at a remarkable pace when I was in my teens. My height grew up at a remarkable pace. At a remarkable pace when I was especially 12 years old. At a remarkable pace, at a remarkable pace, at a remarkable pace, at a remarkable pace, at a remarkable pace. Remarkable, remarkable. My height grew. My height grew. My height grew at a remarkable pace when I was in my teens. My height grew. My height grew at a remarkable pace. The population of the country has been decreasing at a remarkable pace, at an alarming rate. At an alarming rate. At an alarming rate. At an alarming rate. I usually work on my duties at a slow pace, keeping my pace. For I don't wanna keep up with others. I'd like to keep my pace. I'd like to stay my pace. I'd like to keep my pace. Others around me usually develop their skills much faster than me, at a faster speed than me. Everyone else around me usually improves their skills in everything at a faster pace than me. At a twice or 3 times faster pace than me. Everyone else around me usually advance in everything at a faster speed than me, at a faster pace than me. Everyone else around me usually understands and progress in everything at a faster pace than me. Everyone else around me usually comprehend, understand, and level up at a faster speed than me, at a faster speed than me. Technologies have been developed at a remarkable pace. 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 The car driver was pulled over by the cops for speeding at 100 miles per hour, few miles over the limitation. The car driver was stopped by the officers for driving at 100 miles per hour, 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 at 100 miles an hour. Keep driving at 40 kilometers per hour. Keep driving at 60 kilometers per hour. The car has a feature to keep running at 6 kilometers per hour. At 6 kilometers per hour. At 100 miles 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 an hour. At 100 miles an hour. At 100 miles per hour. At 100 miles an hour. At 100 miles per hour. At 100 miles an hour. The car driver was fined for driving at 100 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour, at 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 100 miles an hour. The car has a feature to keep running at 100 miles per hour. It is estimated to take 2 hours if the car keeps running at 60 kilometers per hour on the expressway. It is estimated to take approximately 2 hours if we keep going at 6 kilometers per hour without stop. It is estimated to take 2 hours if we have access to the destination at 60 kilometers per hour. At 60 kilometers per hour, it is estimated to take 2 hours if we go with 60 kilometers per hour. At 60 kilometers per hour, it is estimated about 2 hours if we go at 6 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour, it is estimated to take 2 hours if we go at 60 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour. At 60 kilometers per hour. At 60 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour. 60 kilometers per hour. At 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 60 kilometers per hour, at 60 kilometers per hour, at 60 kilometers per hour, at 100 miles per hour, at 100 miles per hour, at 100 miles an hour. How fast is the plane? How fast when the plane takes off? What miles is observed when the plane takes off? What miles are counted when the plane takes off? What miles is observed? What miles are observed? How fast when a plane takes off? Maybe 450 kilometers per hour? 450 kilometers per hour? I would often go to the delicatessen of the supermarket at night to buy food at a discount. I would often go to the deli of the supermarket at night to buy food at a discount, 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 at a discount. Luckily, I could buy the watch at a discount. Are you waiting for the goods at a discount? Are you waiting for the merchandises to be sold at a discount? Are you waiting for the merchandises to be sold at a discount? At a discount. As far as I know, whales are classified as mammals. Mammals. As far as I know, whales are classified as mammals. Mammal. Mammal. As far as I know, whales are classified as mammals. As far as I know, whales are classified as mammals. Mammal. Like us, human. As far as I know, whales are classified as mammals. Like us, humanity. My long-term goal is to be as fluently as native speakers. My long-term goal is to be as fluent in English as native speakers. My long-term goal is to be as fluently in English as native speakers. Did you buy the pouch at a discount? Did you buy the pouch at a discount? Have you seen a baby kangaroo in the pouch of the parents? Have you seen a baby kangaroo in the pouch of the parent? Have you seen a baby kangaroo put in the parent's pouch? In reality, have you seen a baby kangaroo put in the parent's pouch? Did you buy the pouch at a discount? Did you buy the pouch at a discount? Did you buy the pouch at a discount? Have you seen a baby kangaroo put in the parent's pouch? Pouch. Have you seen a baby kangaroo put in the parent's pouch? Pouch. Have you seen a baby kangaroo put in the parent pouch? Pouch. Did you buy the pouch at a discount? Did you buy the pouch at a discount? What is the opossum like? What is the opossum like? What is the opossum like? Does it have a pouch? How big is it? How big is it? How big is it? How big is it? What is the opossum like? 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 What's the opossum like? What is 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 the opossum like? Is it a creature or food or what? What else? Pack everything. Pack anything else you need for the trip. Pack whatever else you need for the trip. Opossum. What is the opossum like? Have you seen the real opossum on the street? I usually like traveling, but taking long hour flight. The tourist ate everything but natto. My trip to Hokkaido was great, but me forgetting an umbrella at a restaurant, which often happens to me. I'm looking forward to taking part in the trip, but having to take the ferry because it's easy to get motion sick. I'm looking forward to taking part in the party, but being forced to drink alcoholic beverages. I'm excited about the trip to the country, but taking a long hour flight. I'm looking forward to and excited about the trip to the country, but taking a long hour flight. The itinerary created by the travel agent was not attractive at all for her, but eating lunch at the cafe. There's no time to be relaxed, but lunch break. There is no free time for me to be able to relax, except for lunch break, except lunch break. There's no choice but to adhere to the policy. Stick with the policy. Obey the policy. There's no time at all for me to be able to relax, but lunch break. There's no time to be able to relax, but lunchtime. There's no free time for me to be able to relax, but the lunchtime. There's no time for me to be able to take a break, but lunch. There's no free time. There's no time for me to be able to relax, but lunch break. There's no attractions at all, but lunchtime in a day. There's no recreation at all, but lunch break in a day. I'm excited about the trip, except that I have to take the long hour flight. I'm excited about the trip, except that I have to take the long hour flight. I am excited about the trip, except that I have to take a long hour plane. I am excited about the trip, except that I have to take a long hour flight. Long hour flight. The flight has been cancelled due to the inclement weather. Because of inclement weather. Owing to inclement weather. On account of inclement weather. For inclement weather. The bus was delayed due to traffic congestion. The bus was delayed due to traffic congestion. Distractions will delay your progress. Distractions such as notification of SNS, TV, noise coming from outside will delay your progress. So letting go of such distractions might be the key. Tips. It was so lovely a day that I walked as far as neighboring station. It was such a beautiful day that I walked as far as beach. 30 minutes walk from my house. As far as it was so lovely a day that I walked as far as the station, 2 stations away from the nearest station from my house. When it is very sunny and I'm on good spirits, I walk as far as my workplace, especially on Friday. When I'm in good condition, I walk as far as the station. When I'm in good spirits, when I'm in good spirits, and it is very sunny, I walk as far as my home from the workplace. When the elevator is so crowded, I used to work as far as 16th floor of the building. When it was so crowded in the elevator and many queues in front of it, I used to take steps and approached as far as 16th floor of the building to take the class. Of course, it was very tiring. When the elevator was super crowded and there was such a long queue in front of it, I used to take steps and walk as far as 12th floor of the building. I, as well as you, am struggling with the difficult situation. I, as well as you, am struggling with difficult situation. Everybody, as well as you, is struggling with difficult situation. Everybody, as well as you, has many problems in the process of the life, in the course of the life. Everybody, as well as you, has certain problems. Everybody, as well as you, has problems facing them. This computer is as good as new. This computer is as good as new. This computer is all but new. The kid's skill at playing the piano was as good as that by professionals at the age of 12. The meat served in the restaurant was all but raw. My desktop PC is all but dead. My desktop PC is as good as dead. I'm as good as dead every night after work. I'm all but dead every after work. I was as good as lost conscious. I as good as lost conscious after drinking alcohol too much. I all but lost conscious. I as good as lost conscious. I all but lost conscious. He was as good as carried away after drinking too much alcohol. He was all but carried away. He was all but beside himself after drinking much of alcohol. This bicycle is as good as new. This bicycle is all but new. Is all but new. This bicycle is as good as new. This bicycle is all but new. The soup of this ramen, the soup of this noodle is as good as eating spicy only. It was as good as sunny yesterday. It was all but sunny yesterday. The tourist spot, usually crowded with tourists, was as good as vacant in the early morning. The tourist spot, usually crowded with tourists, was all but vacant in the early morning. The test score was as good as perfect. The test score was all but perfect, except for minor mistakes. I as good as lost conscious. I all but lost conscious. I as good as lost conscious. I as good as lost conscious. I all but lost conscious. I as good as memorized all of the lyrics. I all but memorized all of the lyrics. I memorized as good as all of the lyrics. I all but memorized the lyrics. I as good as memorized all of the lyrics. I all but memorized all of the lyrics. The sound played by the pianist was as good as that by robot. The sound played by the pianist was all but that by a robot machine. It was as good as morning when I finished the work. It was all but morning when I finished the work. This laptop PC is as good as intact. This laptop PC is all but intact. This laptop PC is as good as pristine. This laptop PC is all but pristine. This laptop PC is as good as pristine. This laptop PC is all but pristine. This laptop PC is all but pristine. This laptop PC is all but pristine. This laptop PC is as good as pristine, as good as pristine, as good as pristine, as good as pristine, as good as pristine. She lived in Japan for as good as 5 years. She has lived in Japan as good as 10 years. This laptop PC is as good as pristine. This computer is as good as pristine. This laptop PC 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 is as good as pristine. As good as pristine. As good as pristine. As good as pristine. All but pristine. The pile of tasks were as good as completed. The pile of tasks were all but completed. The pile of tasks were as good as dealt with. The pile of tasks were all but dealt with. I used to play video games as long as 8 hours, which I regret now. As long as you remember, she lives in your heart. As long as you come back by 5 p.m., I will let you go out. As long as you have finished your homework by noon, I will let you go out. As long as you keep it a secret, I will tell you the secret. I cannot put trust in you because you betrayed once. You broke the rule. You break a word. You broke a word. I used to play video games for as long as 10 hours. I used to play video games as long as 10 hours, and my teachers and parents often told me that they wanted me to pay attention to study as enthusiastically as devoting my time to video games. I used to play video games as long as 8 hours, and my parents and teachers often said to me that they wanted me to focus on study as enthusiastically as video games. I would often play video games, especially Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, as long as 8 hours. So, my parents and teachers often told me that they wanted me to focus on study as enthusiastically as I did to my video games. I used to play video games as long as 8 hours, so my parents and teachers often told me that they wanted me to focus on study as passionately, enthusiastically as I did for video games. I used to find it uncomfortable to study as long as all day long, but once I'm used to it, I can do that without any problems. I was kept waiting for as long as 30 minutes, which made me angry. Led to the breakup with the friends. Maybe subtle reason to break up. I'm excited about the trip, except that I have to take the plane for as long as 8 hours to get to the destination. I'm so excited about the travel, except that I have to take the plane for as long as 10 hours. The security guard stood there still, as long as 8 hours. Can you study as long as 8 hours a day? Can you study for as long as 8 hours? Can you study or work on something for as long as 10 hours on a daily basis? On a daily basis. I used to play video games as long as 10 hours. I would often play video games as long as 10 hours. I used to play video games as long as 10 hours sometimes. The newly developed smartphone can last as long as 10 days at the longest. The newly developed battery for the smartphone can last as long as 10 days if it is not used at all. The woman lived as long as 119 years. The woman lived as long as 119 years. The woman lived as long as 119 years. Some students study as long as 12 hours on a daily basis in preparation for entrance examination. Some enthusiastic students study for as long as 10 hours a day in preparation for examinations, to brace for examinations. Some enthusiastic students study as long as 8 hours or 10 hours a day. As long as 10 hours, 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 as long as 10 hours. I was kept waiting as long as 2 hours. I was kept waiting as long as 10 hours. I have to be in the plane as long as 8 hours. I'm eager to go to the party. I'm eager to go on a trip. I'm eager to go on a trip. I'm anxious to go on a trip, except that I have to take the plane as long as 8 hours. I'm anxious to go on a trip, except that I have to take the plane for as long as 8 hours. 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 How dare you can study as long as 12 hours on a daily basis? How long you can play the video games as long as 12 hours a day? How dare you can play the video games as long as 12 hours a day, every day? And you don't know, the creation of the musical instrument takes as long as 2 years to complete. I was taken by surprise to know that the creation of the musical instrument takes as long as 2 years. The secret was kept behind as long as a century. The wrongdoings had been kept secret as long as 20 years until it was disclosed. The wrongdoings committed by the company had been kept secret behind as long as 30 years until it became public. With respect to semiconductor, he has the biggest knowledge in this department. With respect to, in respect to, with regard to, in regard to, regarding computer, he has the largest knowledge in this department. In a way, in a sense, at all cost, at any cost, at all costs. With respect to traveling, I never go on a trip on weekends to save money and time and to avoid congestions. With respect to Sakura, in respect to Sakura, with regard to Sakura, in regard to Sakura, regarding Sakura, concerning Sakura, concerning Sakura, concerning Sakura, the blooming timing was a little bit earlier this year. The blooming time was a little bit earlier this season. Maybe created by global warming. Concerning Sakura, cherry blossom, concerning cherry blossoms, the blooming date was a little bit earlier this year. Concerning philosophy, concerning biology, concerning entering the company, concerning English study, concerning grammar, concerning subtraction, subtract, add, multiply, divide. Concerning calculation, I am very bad at adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing everything. So do not leave calculations to me. Concerning mathematics, I hated subtracting, adding, multiplying, and dividing numbers. I'm so bad at it. 5 divided 5 is 1. 1 plus 1, 1. 1, add 1 to 1, and you will get 2. 1 plus 1, 2. Subtract 2 from 2, you will get 0. Multiply 5 by 5. Multiply 5 by 5, and you will get 25. Divide 5 from 10, and you will get 2. Divide 10 by 5, you will get 2. 5 divided 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Concerning calculations, I'm super bad at it. Concerning calculations, I usually rely on calculator or Excel. Concerning season, which season do you like the best? Concerning season, which season do you like the best? Concerning English study, which textbooks are you using? Concerning English study, which textbooks are you using? Concerning textbooks, which textbooks are you using? Concerning English study, which textbooks are you using? Concerning difficulties, predicaments, ordeals, hardships, which strategies do you usually use to get over them? Concerning public transportation, which is the best way to get to the downtown of Tokyo? Train, bus, or hire, or taxi? And concerning the trip to Japan, which season is the best? Concerning Japan Rail Pass, where can I get a ticket? Concerning our lives, what do you prioritize the most? What do you give precedence to the most? Concerning our life, what are the things you find most valuable? Concerning life, what are the things you find most valuable? Concerning life, what do you give precedence to the most? Concerning our life, what do you give priority to the most? What do you give priority to the most? Concerning sushi, which restaurant do you recommend me to go? Concerning sushi, which sushi restaurant do you recommend me that I should go? Concerning sushi, which restaurant do you recommend that I should go to? Concerning sushi, which sushi restaurant do you recommend me that I should go to? Concerning sushi, which sushi restaurant do you recommend me to go to? I wonder, a piece of the cargo stacked up on the vessel is. I wonder how big a piece of cargo stacked up on the ship is. I wonder how big a piece of cargo piled up on the vessel is. Cargo vessel. I wonder how the cargo vessel is taking a balance with a lot of cargoes on it. I wonder how the cargo vessel is taking a balance with a lot of cargoes. I wonder how the cargo vessel is taking a balance. I wonder how big a piece of cargo piled up on the cargo vessel is. I wonder how big a piece of cargo piled up on the cargo vessel is. Cargo vessel, cargo, 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 vessel, 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 cargo vessel. I wonder how a cargo vessel is taking a balance with a lot of cargoes on it. I wonder how a cargo vessel is taking a balance. Excuse me, is this train bound for Narita Station? Excuse me, is this train bound for Narita Station? Is Olympic started by making a fire onto the torch in Athens? Is it right? And runner give the torch to one after another. Athens, Athens, Athens. Have you ever been to Athens? As far as I know, the Athens is located in Greece, right? Athens, 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 Athens. Keep burning, 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 burning. Keep doing effort, effort, effort. Athens. Have you ever been to Athens? Have you ever been to Athens? Athens. Have you ever been to Athens? Have you ever been to Athens? Have you ever been to Athens? Athens. I learned that my body sank when I dove into the ocean after breathing out the air. I learned that my body sank in the water when I dove after breathing out the air. I learned to sink in the water if I dive with my air, with me breathing out the air. I learned that my body sank in the water when I dove after breathing out the air. The computer can simulate how the ship sank in the water. The computers can simulate how the ship sank in the water. The computer can simulate how the ship sank into the ocean. Have you ever been to Mediterranean? The cruise ship goes through the Mediterranean. The cruise ship is going on Mediterranean now. The cruise ship is going through Mediterranean now. The cruise ship is going through Mediterranean now. Mediterranean, 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 Mediterranean. What are the differences between Mediterranean and Pacific or the Atlantic? The strength of salt? What are the biggest difference? Mediterranean. Mediterranean, 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 Mediterranean. The Mediterranean. The Mediterranean. A thief disappeared from the spot without a trace. A thief disappeared from the spot without a trace. A thief disappeared from the spot without a trace. 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 A thief escaped from the spot without a trace. Without a trace, without a trace, without a trace, without a trace, without a trace. A thief disappeared from the spot without a trace. A thief disappeared from the spot without a trace. A thief disappeared from the spot without a trace. A thief disappeared without a trace, without a trace, without a trace. The house burned down without a trace. The house burned down without a trace. She ate everything on the plate without a trace. She deleted all of the files without a trace. Is it possible to see the reels without a trace on Instagram? How can we watch the reels without a trace? Or is it possible or not possible? Is it possible to watch reels without a trace? Is it possible to watch reels without a trace? Without a trace. Is it possible to visit someone's account without a trace? Is it possible to visit someone's account without a trace? Without a trace. 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 We ought to be bold and reckless to go for it sometimes. We ought to be reckless and bold to go for it at times. Because the chance never might come back again. My childhood was a series of reckless challenges. My childhood was filled with reckless challenges, which I regret now. But thanks to the mistakes and the lessons I learned, which made me what I am now. Reckless, ruthless, reckless challenge. Although I regret the mistakes I made in the past and the reckless challenges I did, which made me what I am now. Thanks to the reckless challenges, I could meet some precious people, and I could find the ones I could be really into forever. Maybe in that case, maybe my reckless challenges were a good one. Reckless challenge, reckless project. I'm trying to pass the national examination within a week. It's reckless, none other than reckless. Nothing but reckless. Attempting to pass the national examination within a week is none other than reckless. Nothing but reckless. My father was struggling with cancer to death. My grandfather was struggling with the cancer to death. My grandfather was struggling with cancer to death. Although I did a lot of effort to death, I couldn't pass the examination. Although I do a lot of effort to death, there are many people going beyond me in everything. Though I put a lot of effort on my improving my skills, study, and so on, there are tons of people doing better jobs than me, with little effort. Although I put a lot of effort on my study, practice, and so on, there are always numerous people doing better job than me with little effort. Although I studied to death, I couldn't pass examination until after 8th trial. I once went to the mountain as the expedition of the club activity. Fish left on the street became dried to death. Fish left on the street on the riverbank dried to death. Fish left on the riverbank dried to death. Fish left on the riverbank dried to death. Fish left on the riverbank left to dried to death. Fish left on the riverbank got dried to death. Fish left on the riverbank dried to death. Fish left on the riverbank left to death. The fish left on the riverbank dried to death. The fish left on the riverbank dried to death. The fish left on the river bank got dry to death. The fish left on the street got dry to death. The fish left on the river bank dried to death. The fish left on the river bank dried to death. The fish left on the river bank dried to death. Some fish left on the bank along the pond got dried to death. Some fish left on the pond dried to death. Some fish left on the pond dried to death. Some fish left on the bank of the ocean got dried to death. Some fish left on the bank along the pond got dried to death. The gadget contacted with a lot of water to death. The gadget contacted a lot of water to death. The gadget dove into the water to death. I spilled water in the keyboard by mistake to death. I spilled water in the keyboard by mistake to death. I spilled water into the keyboard to death by mistake. I spilled water into the keyboard to death. I spilled water into the keyboard to death. I spilled water into the keyboard to death. I dropped the gadget into the water by mistake to death. I dropped the gadget into the water to death by mistake. I went to the mountain as the expedition of the club activity for training. Expedition to the mountain. Expedition to the summit of the mountain. Expedition to the mountain. Expedition to the moon. Expedition to the moon. Expedition to the probe. Expedition to the asteroid by the space probe. Expedition to the small planet. Expedition to the small planet by the space probe. Expedition. 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 Have you been to Antarctic, which is called the Antarctic or the Arctic, North Pole or South Pole, North Pole or South Pole, North or South Pole, which is called the Antarctic or the Arctic, 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 the Antarctic, the Antarctic, the Antarctic, South Pole, the Antarctic, 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 the Antarctic, 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 Antarctic. Antarctic, Antarctic, the Antarctic, the Antarctic, the Antarctic, the Antarctic, the Antarctic, the Antarctic. The museum was established to pass down the tragedy to the next generations. The museum was established to pass down the tragedy which should never be repeated. The tragedy. The museum was set up so as to pass down the tragedy from generations to generation. The tragedy which must not be repeated, so as not to be repeated. The date of the tragedy must be remembered. The date of the tragedy must be remembered. The date of the tragedy must be remembered. The deadline for submitting the application must be remembered. The deadline for the application must be remembered. Must be remembered. The date, the previous Prime Minister signed the contract of the peace treaty between the country must be remembered. The museum was established to pass down and so as not to be repeated the tragedy. The museum was established to pass down the tragedy to the next generation so as not to be repeated. Exhibition. To my happiness, some of my arts are exhibited at the exhibition. To my happiness, some of my arts are exhibited at the exhibition. To my happiness, my arts are displayed at the exhibition. Exhibition. The remarks made by the influencer sounds very profound. The remarks made by the CEO of the company sounds very profound. The explanation made by the teacher gave me profound insight into the theory. Eloquent speech and concise explanation by the teacher gave me profound insight into the formula. I usually learn everything by heart. I usually learn everything by heart. Reviewing the same chapter of the textbook helps me have profound insight into the content. Reviewing the same textbooks over and over again, time and time again, helped me to have profound insights into the contents. Reviewing the same textbooks time and time again helped me have profound insights into the content. Reviewing the same textbook over and over again helped me have profound insights into the content. Reviewing the same textbook over and over again helped me to have profound insights into the content. Reviewing the same textbooks over and over again helped me have profound insights into the contents. Reviewing the same textbook time and time again helped me have profound insights into the contents. Are you familiar with ancient civilization? Are you familiar with ancient civilization? Are you familiar with ancient civilization? Newly unearthed pottery proves that ancient civilization flourished in the region. Newly discovered porcelain from the land proves that ancient civilization flourished in the past there. Profound. The researcher is credited with contributing to the company a lot. The researcher is credited with making the company so huge. Every employee in the company credit the researcher with contributing to the huge growth of the company. Every employee working in the company credits the researcher with contributing to the company a lot. Everybody credits the researcher with making the company so huge. The researcher is credited with contributing to the society a lot. I credit coffee with keeping me focused. I credit coffee with keeping me focused. I credit coffee with keeping me awake, focused, concentrated. Coffee is credited with keeping me awake. Coffee is credited with keeping me awake and focused. I credit the medicine with treating my disease. I credit my family doctor with leading me to the next level. I credit my teacher with leading me to the next level. I credit the coach with leading a team to championship. The team is credited with, the coach is credited with leading the team to the championship many times. The venerable coach is credited with leading the team championship time and time again, over and again. The venerable coach is credited with leading the team to the championship over and again. The team and everyone else credit the coach with leading the team to championship over and over again. The baseball coach is credited with leading the team to the championship. The baseball coach is credited with leading the team to the championship. The baseball coach is credited with leading the team to championship. The baseball coach is credited with leading the team to championship. The baseball coach is credited with leading the team to the championship over and over again. The baseball members credit the coach with leading the team to the championship. The baseball team credits the coach with leading the team to the championship. The baseball team credits the coach with leading the team to the championship. All of the members of the baseball team credits the coach with leading the team to the championship. All of the members of the team credit the coach with leading the team to the championship. I credit coffee with keeping me focused. I credit coffee with keeping me awake. I credit coffee with keeping me awake. I credit coffee with keeping me awake. I credit coffee for keeping me awake. Coffee is credited with keeping me awake and focused. The coach is credited with leading the team to championship. Coffee is credited with keeping me awake. We credit new technologies with communicating with people much easier. We credit public transportation with making our trip easier. We credit the development of the semiconductor with making our life much more convenient. All of the employees in the department credit him with contributing to the double sales figures. All of the employees in the department credit the researcher with contributing to threefold sales figures. The coach is credited with leading the team to the championship. The members of the team credit the coach with leading the team to the championship. All of the members credit the coach with leading the team to the championship. All of the employees working in the company credit the researcher with contributing to the quadrupled sales figures of the company. The researcher is credited with leading the company to such a huge success. The researcher of the company is credited with leading the company to huge success. In spring, we can see farmers sowing seeds into the paddy fields, usually rice. What are the farmers sowing on the paddy fields? I think that they are planting seedlings of rice. They are going to be harvested in summer. Sowing seeds. Would you mind helping me? Would you mind helping me sow the seeds? Would you mind helping me sow the seeds onto the paddy field? Would you mind helping me sowing the seeds? Would you mind helping me sowing the seeds? Would you mind helping me sowing the seeds? Would you mind helping me to sow the seeds? Would you mind helping me sow the seeds? Would you mind helping me sow the seeds? Would you mind helping me sow the seeds onto the field, paddy field? What are the farmers sowing the seed? What are the farmers sowing onto the paddy field? The farmers were seen sowing seeds into the paddy field. The farmers was in spring. Many farmers can be seen sowing seeds into the field. In spring, many farmers can be seen sowing seeds, 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 sowing seeds. What are the farmers sowing? Sow. What are the farmers sowing the seeds? What are the farmers sowing? What are the farmers sowing? Sow. What are the farmers sowing? In spring, many farmers can be seen sowing seeds, sowing seeds, sowing seeds. Sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds, sowing the seeds. Many farmers are sowing seeds. I saw some farmers sowing seeds. I saw some farmers sowing seeds. Farmers are sowing seeds. Farmers are sowing seeds. When should I sow the seeds of sunflower? When should I sow the seeds of sunflower? Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflower? Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflower? Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflower? Do you know when I should sow the seeds? Sow the seeds of sunflower. Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflower? Do you know when I should seeds? When I Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflower? Sow the seeds of sunflower. Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflower? Do you know when I should sow the seeds? Sow the seeds. Do you know when I should sow the seeds of sunflowers? Sow the seeds. Sow the seeds. Sow the seeds. Would you mind helping me sow the seeds into the paddy field? Would you mind helping me sow the seeds in the garden? I was asked if I could help him sow the seeds in the garden. Sow the seeds. Sow the seeds. Are you familiar with Renaissance? What is Renaissance about? Renaissance. The Renaissance. The Renaissance. What is Renaissance? What is the Renaissance? What is the Renaissance? Is it activity? What is the Renaissance? What is the Renaissance? What is the Renaissance? Renaissance. What is the Renaissance? 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 The Renaissance. The Renaissance. What is the Italian Renaissance? What is the Italian Renaissance? What is the Italian Renaissance? Renaissance. Renaissance. What is the Italian Renaissance? Renaissance. 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 What is the Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? What is the Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? Renaissance. Renaissance. What is Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? What is Italian Renaissance? Renaissance. What is Italian Renaissance? What is the Italian Renaissance? What is the Italian Renaissance? Renaissance. 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 As soon as I get a certificate, I mounted the certificate into a fancy frame and hang it on the wall. The minute I got the certificate from the association, I mounted the certificate in a fancy frame and hung it on the wall. The instant I got the certificate from the association to show my my level of English efficiency, fluency, I mounted the certificate paper in the fancy frame and hung it on the wall. I remember there were many portraits of famous ancient composers on the wall of music room. I remember there were many portraits of ancient composers from the world on the wall, hung on the wall in the music room at the school. It is no wonder the perfume was not coming out because it was upside down. It is no wonder that the spray was not coming out because it was upside down. I felt something strange on my desktop computer because it was set upside down. It was set upside down. Upside down, inside out. Have you ever worn your clothes upside down? I don't know, inside out. Have you ever worn your clothes inside out, upside down? The upside down view of the sandbar is called Heavenly Bridge or Amano Hashidate. Have you seen Amano Hashidate, one of the three most famous scenic locations in Japan? To see the Heavenly Bridge, you are supposed to turn your back to the scenery, bend over, and look between from your legs. From Kasamatsu Park. Upside down view of the sandbar. Upside down view of the sandbar. The sandbar, if the sandbar is looked upside down, it looks like a bridge flying to the sky, floating on the sky, maybe. I haven't seen it in person, so I'm not sure, maybe. So I'd like to see it in person in the near future. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!